Welcome to our latest Wandering Walks of Wonder small town history tour. Today we're headed to Cottonwood Falls, Kansas. Cottonwood Falls is the county seat and largest town of Chase County, and it's located in about the central part of the county along the Cottonwood River. Our walk here begins in front of the Chase County Courthouse, and we'll learn a little bit more about this courthouse here in just a few minutes, but it is probably one of the most beautiful courthouses in the state of Kansas. The first settlement in the Cottonwood Falls area began in 1854 when an Indian trader named Seth Hayes founded a cattle ranch on the Cottonwood River close to the mouth of the Diamond Spring Creek. A post office was established in Cottonwood Falls on September 16, 1858. When Chase County was organized in 1859, Cottonwood Falls was designated the temporary county seat. That same year, a newspaper called the Kansas Press was started by Samuel N. Wood right here in Cottonwood Falls. In 1860, a dam was constructed on the Cottonwood Falls River that consisted of cottonwood logs. This dam provided water power for a saw and grist mill, and that same year, the town site was laid out. We'll actually get to take a look at the current dam and see where the Cottonwood Falls River is. In 1862, an election was held for the permanent county seat of Chase County, and Cottonwood Falls received the majority of votes. About 8 years later, the Congregationalists built a frame church for about $1,800, and that same year, the Methodist Episcopal Church was also erected for about $2,500. In 1871, William A. Morgan established the Chase County Leader newspaper. In 1870, Chase County voters approved a bond issue to build a courthouse and a jail. The architect and superintendent of the courthouse was John Q. Haskelia, a noted Lawrence, Kansas architect. Haskelia also designed the state capitol for Kansas as well. The building was constructed from native limestone that was quarried and hand-cut in the nearby Flint Hills in this area of Kansas. The limestone blocks were brought to the courthouse by horse-drawn wagons. Some of those stones weighed nearly 7 tons. The 113-foot-tall French Renaissance-style building was completed in October of 1873 at a cost of $42,600. A housewarming and ball was held on October 17th of that same year. Very interesting to note that this building has been in continuous use as the seat of county government since that time, and much of the building is virtually unchanged. It is still the oldest Kansas courthouse that's still in use in the entire state, and it's registered on the National Historic of Registered Places. Across the street from us is the old Chase County National Bank. The Chase County National Bank continued business at this exact location until it failed to open its doors on February 26, 1928. It then went into the hands of a receiver, and by June of 1929, each depositor had been paid back in full. This was during the time of the Great Depression. Some accounts trace the cause of the bank's problems to poor and dishonest management in the early 1920s, though. In 1925, the bank president was charged with embezzling $39,000 from an estate from which he was an executor. He was convicted in 1927, but the Supreme Court ordered a new trial. In January of 1928, many depositors began withdrawing their savings, apparently thinking that a new trial might lead to more liabilities for the bank. That building itself was later used by insurance agencies, real estate companies, the Farm Bureau office, and during World War II it was a ration stamp office. In 1976, the Chase County Historical Society purchased the building, and it's now used as a museum, office, as well as a historic library. The population of Cotton Falls peaked in 1940 at a little over 1,000 people, but gradually dropped in the following decades. Today, roughly about 850 people still live in the town, though, and maintain this beautiful small town in Kansas. Across the street from us is the historic Grand Central Hotel. In accordance with the Military Bounding Land Act of 1855, President Abraham Lincoln assigned the land that the Grand Hotel sits on. This building was assigned to Mr. Martin Merrick. The land sold many times before. M. Young purchased it in 1881. Thus, the Grand Central Hotel opened in 1884. Always a hotel, it became the Central House Hotel, the American Hotel, the Cottonwood Falls Hotel, and in 1995, following a big renovation, it reopened as the Grand Central Hotel and Grill, and today operates as an Airbnb. We're now heading across the bridge, taking a look at the Cottonwood Falls River as well as the Cottonwood Falls Bridge. This is a great place just to take a short break or even at times have a picnic. The adjacent Bates Grove Park provides parking, tables, as well as grills just to enjoy the scenery here. The first dam at this site was constructed of, cottonwood logs in 1860. It provided water power for a saw and grist mill. In 1906, the dam was expanded and used to generate electricity at one point in time. The present dam is constructed from cut limestone, which was later covered over with concrete. The first major bridge at Cottonwood Falls was a 150-foot-long iron truss bridge constructed in 1872. The present bridge was constructed in 1914 by the Missouri Valley Bridge Company of Leavenworth, Kansas for about $13,000. It is one of only 3 remaining reinforced masonry earth-filled arch bridges that was designed by famous architect Daniel B. Luton. This bridge that we're walking across right now is on the National Register of Historic Places. The grist mill that was once here along the banks of the river was at one time the only mill that served Cottonwood Falls that was within a 100-mile radius of most of the population of this part of Kansas. In 1864, a flour mill was added to the original mill, and in 1906, the original mill was purchased by the Home Light and Power Electric Company and expanded to include generation of electricity. The mill itself stopped grinding in 1913 and was operated as an ice plant until 1925.